Now, this is a weird one. Jim Miller against Nikolas Motta.
Oh, right, yeah.
This is a really odd fight. I looked at this fight to see if this was a short notice replacement.
What, for Jim or
Yeah, for Jim.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? I mean, I know that, like, I think the UFC look at Jim Miller now as like, he's fucking still here. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, we'll keep getting you fights. You can keep testing these young kids that are coming up. Because I think Jim and the UFC have both accepted that he's probably not going to be a world champion. So he's going to be here for as long as he can be. And he's going to keep testing these guys. Now, if you think what Jimmy Warled does to young fighters in the gym, how he like big brothers them.
Yeah.
Like, there's always the potential that Jim Miller's going to do that. Kind of what Joe Lozon did to Pierce, who's the first fight on the card.
Yeah.
Just big brothered him for the first minute of the fight and got the finish. I feel like Jim Miller could big brother him here. I mean, you look at the record, 33-16 compared to 12-3. And he's had, 37 fights in the UFC, Jim Miller?
Jim Miller?
37, 30, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, 33? Yeah.
It's ridiculous, the amount of fights he's had in the UFC. He made his debut, I'm having to scroll
18
down.
submission wins as well.
Well, the start of his record is written on parchment. That's how fucking long he's been fighting. He made his debut against a guy I fought, David Barron.
Didn't he have a heart attack? Or was it a heart attack or
was it like no? He had was it Lyme's disease or something like
right.
that? It was something that he was kind of fighting through for a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think he'd had a heart attack. Fucking hell, if he did, he's doing well.
Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was. I know he had an illness, or maybe it was cancer or something. I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I'm sure it was something like I'm sure he got Lyme's. He had Lyme's disease, which is like a. I don't know a great deal about it, so I'm not even going to try and attempt. But it was affecting his output, like it was like a chronic fatigue.
Ah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? And he was fighting through it for a long time, and was able to finally overcome it. But I mean, you think he was battling through that as well as fighting the likes of Charles Oliveira and Dan Hooker and Anthony Pettis. Like, you look at the guys on his record.
Yeah. Do you think that that condition maybe did kind of stump his potential a little bit?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know when he had it or how long he was suffering from it for, but I do know it was a good chunk of his career. And you've got to think, I mean, the guys he was fighting and the consistency of which he was fighting as well. Like, so he had 2 fights last year. He had 3 in 2020. He had 2 in 2019, 3 in 2018, 3 in 2017. Like, he's averaging 3 fights a year. He had 4 in 2016. The guy's an animal.
Yeah.
He's an animal. And he's still going at 38. Fucking very, very impressive. I think he is going to be an absolute nightmare for Eric. I think Eric's good. I think he's got good boxing. He's got nice tight guard. He's got good takedown defense. He's got good footwork. I think he's a very talented individual. I just don't know if he's got enough to beat Jim Miller at this stage.
Yeah, I had Jim Miller just purely because of Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe that when the UFC give someone like Nikolas, someone like Jim Miller, I'd probably see it as like a bit of a compliment in a way, like, they want to test me to this kind of level this early on. I
think one of the reasons maybe why this fight was matched was because Jim Miller lost to Joe Selecki, didn't he? Let me just check. Yeah, Jim Miller lost to Joe Selecki by decision, and Motta's got a win over Joe Selecki. He stopped him before he got to the UFC. But 8-6-4 fighting championships, he knocked him out in the 3rd round. So, I mean, there is that. And this fight was also matched for September of last year, apparently.
Oh, right,
but then Miller tested positive for COVID. It's just an odd matchup. Like, all of the matchups that Jim Miller's getting at the moment are kind of odd. Like, Eric Gonzalez and Joe Selecki are not fighters that should be in the octagon, really, with Jim Miller. Like you look at his last 3 fights. So including this one. So he's got Joe Selecki, who's 10-2. You've got Eric Gonzalez, who's 14-5, and then you've got Nikolas Motta, who's 12-3. If you add their records together, you've just about got where Jim Miller's at in his career. It's a massive amount of experience. I think Motta's got a bright future, but I think Jim Miller's going to do this.
Yeah,
I think he's probably going to sub him.
Yeah, I had Jim Miller. Yeah,
I think he's going to catch his neck. Won't surprise me if it's a rear naked choke, especially if he's got his chin up like that. Look. It's bad news. Yeah, good kid. Great opportunity for him. High up on the card, you know. It could be a bit of a sleeper on this card. He could surprise a few people, but I feel like Jim Miller might have his number.
Yeah.